We've been hearing reports for a while now that Ultron would be making a return to the MCU after being the main villain of Marvel Studios' Avengers Age of Ultron all the way back in 2015. He made his kind of return in animated form with Marvel Studios' What If Season 1 is kind of one of the big bads there at the end, which ended up being pretty cool. But the interesting thing about that is, of course, James Spader did the voice of the character in Age of Ultron, and then when the character appeared in animation form in What If, he was voiced by Ross Marquand, who of course also did the voice for Red Skull in Infinity War and Endgame. So that guy just basically replaces any actor that doesn't want to come back. So we have been hearing reports that Ultron would come back at some point. We just didn't know exactly when or where, and also who would be doing the voice. But it has now been revealed by multiple sources. I believe it first came from the new Tales from the Mod Q thing from Marvel Studios Spoilers subreddit, and has since been reconfirmed by multiple other scoopers, reliable scoopers as well, that James Spader is returning to voice Ultron as the main villain of Marvel Studios' Armor Wars, which I think sounds absolutely awesome and is definitely the perfect place for this character to come into play. Because if you think about the whole synopsis of this movie, which is also another interesting thing to note, is that originally this was supposed to be an Armor Wars Disney Plus series, but it was since moved up to be a movie. And we've talked quite a bit on the channel about why that is the case. And it could be just because, Don Cheadle just wants us to be a movie instead, but also there's going to be, at least according to rumors, so many big things going down here. If we have the return of Ultron, if we have possibly Robert Downey Jr. coming back as AI Tony Stark, which I think this would be the perfect place to do that. Also, there's rumors of the West Coast Avengers forming in this movie, and it could be like a mini Avengers movie. I think that'd be pretty awesome. So if that's going to happen here, it makes sense. But also, like I was saying with the synopsis, this movie is all about, now that Tony Stark is gone, now that Tony Stark is dead, villains are going to be trying to get their hands on Stark technology. Now, whether this would be another Iron Man villain, either a character like Justin Hammer making return, Sam Rockwell, that'd be pretty awesome. I think this would be also the perfect place for him to return, or maybe another Iron Man villain from the comics that we haven't exactly met yet. Either way, it could be a villain like that is trying to get Stark technology and ends up getting their hands on Ultron and uses Ultron as like a henchman for them, and maybe Ultron ends up taking over. Or it could maybe just be that Ultron is the one, like he is the villain that just somehow comes back online. He steals all this Stark technology and, starts his Age of Ultron again, or whatever he wants to do. But this is awesome. I think specifically this is James Spader because I loved Ross Marquand as Ultron in What If. That was great. I mean, he sounded just like James Spader. But I don't know. I think just getting back that same version of the character from Age of Ultron, where a lot of people feel Ultron was kind of done dirty in that film, which I still really enjoyed Ultron in that movie, but he did definitely make way too many jokes for a killer, murderous robot. So hopefully they can fix that in this film. And again, I think this is the perfect place to do it, especially if it is going to be like a mini Avengers movie. Have the West Coast Avengers versus Ultron. This would be perfect. I'm really excited for this. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you excited to see James Spader return as Ultron, as maybe not the main villain, but at least one of the villains in Marvel Studios' Armor Wars? And does this get you more excited for this film? So thanks for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.